Redirect in form submission handling. So when the form is submitted to create a brand new account, you noticed that it's always redirected, and that's actually required in general. It's in fact called the post redirect get, PRG. So you always want to perform post, then you want to perform redirect to the get, so it's called a PRG. So issue an HTTP redirect back to the client before the view is rendered. The reason you have to do is this. The first primary reason is to eliminate the possibility of the user submitting the form data multiple times through refreshing. So if you don't perform the redirection, the URL still is pointing to the post request. So if a user refresh the page, it will send another post. Okay. If you perform redirect to a get page, then even if user refresh the page, it's going to be just a get operation, which is idempotent operation, meaning it should be just read-only operation. Okay. So that is the primary reason you always want to perform post, redirect, and get. Okay. Second case, when one controller has been called with a posted data and the response is actually a delegation to another controller, for example, on a successful form submission. You could in fact have cases where a user has entered data in multiple pages. If the data they have to enter are in fact pretty large set of data, then you cannot have them to enter in a single page, right? So in that case, you might have to actually have multiple pages to be displayed to finish the registration of something, right? Okay, so that's another use case scenario where you could actually perform redirection. Okay, but that's not actually the PLG, it's a PLP, I would say. Okay. And the way you are going to perform redirect is destination URL. Basically, you're going to say redirect and destination URL. Okay? So URL-based view resolver will recognize this as a special indication that redirect is needed, and the rest of the view name will be treated as a redirected URL. Okay, so this is an example. When we created a brand new account, like a create, you see we are performing redirection here. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do in exercise 7 is we are going to actually do experimentation, without the redirection and with the redirection, and we'll perform the, refreshing the page. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to actually choose whatever, the sample application of your choice. I'm going to just choose MVC form simple, and you go to controller. So here I am going to so here I'm going to actually put the system out message, and we're going to just see how many times it is called, and we also want to display number of accounts that gets created. Okay, so I'm going to just say create called, and we are also number of accounts is, and here we are going to say this accounts, then we call size method. Okay, so we are going to actually see how many times this is being invoked and how many times, and also the size of accounts, right? So this is the case that we are performing redirection, so it's going to create just once, right? Even if user is going to refresh the page. So let's run this guy. So this is actually a case that we perform redirection and behaving as expected, right? So I'm going to run this application, run as and Java application. Okay, and main application. Okay, so it's deployed. Okay, so we're gonna go over here and 8080. Okay, and we're gonna actually observe the redirection. So why don't you actually have the developer tool to get displayed. Okay, so we are going to enter name, and we are going to perform submit. Okay, so you will see that we're going to actually go over here. The first, this is the post request. So you can see this is the so this is the post request. Request method is post. We send the request to this guy, and then you can see the response is 302. 302 is redirected. This is a redirection request. So in fact, if you take a look at the redirected request in the location field, that this is where it's going to get redirected. In fact, that's where it gets redirected, right? So that's basically, this is the get operation. So now we go to that URL, and this is a get operation. So now even if we actually refresh the page, it's not going to actually, so let's take a look at the number of, because it's a get operation, it should not actually increase the number of accounts. So yeah, so I should where did it actually display? Oh, did I have actually, don't I actually have oh, it looks like I didn't actually save the change. Okay, so let's actually save the change. Let's do it again. Okay, so, and we're gonna actually run it again, and this time you're gonna actually see number of accounts. Okay, okay, so we are going to start from here. Yeah, I don't need this one anymore because we actually verified the redirection things already. So we're gonna just run it, and then you can see we have a number of accounts is just one. But now, even if we refresh the page, it's not going to actually create another account because these are basically get operation. Okay, so this is the right behavior, right? Now let's actually try to remove redirection. Okay, so what we want to do is we are going to remove this redirection. So we are basically sending this URL. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we'll stop it, and let's run it again. Run as and Java application. Yeah, so in this case, it will not actually find the things right. So I'm gonna actually make the code change something like yeah, we did this. Yeah, so we won't actually provide these things. Okay, so I'm gonna just have a model and we are basically simulating this code. So we are directly displaying that user account. Okay, but we so instead of actually performing redirection, we are just going to that page. Okay, and let's see the consequence of it. So we save the change, and let's run the application. Okay, so it's deployed. Let's go over here and start from the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna actually have Sang Shin, and we submit it. Now their account is created, right? Now let's take a look at this. You see the URL is still pointing to the kind of post, right? So if I click the refresh, in fact the browser warns you that you're actually resubmitting the same post request. Continue. Okay, and then you can see the same account is created again, right? And then if I refresh again, it will send the post request. So again, third request is created. third account is created. So if you're actually saving this account into the database, you are basically duplicating the same account over and over. So this is the problem of not redirecting. Okay, because what happens is that this URL is still pointing to your post request, and it's still sending. So if you actually capture, let's say, let's do F12, every time you send this guy, it's gonna send it as a post request. So let's refresh the game, and it's sending as a post request. So it keeps sending that post request, meaning your server will keep creating the duplicate, in this case, account. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about 9 minutes to try this exercise, and then we're going to move on to the next.